Good morning. This is Madan from Object Automation System Solutions Private Limited. Here I'm going to talk about this is an interview session on data engineering using Microsoft Azure. This is for the joint program for National Institute of Electronics and Information Technology, Calicut. So in this interview session, first I'll be talking about what are the things we'll be covering as part of this data engineering, and we'll be learning that we'll be logging into Azure portal. Then we will be learning what are the things we need to become a data engineer. So let us first talk about the syllabus for data engineering. So what is the course objective? So this course objective is equipping our learners with practical skills in designing, building, and transforming modern data pipelines using Microsoft Azure. So we help the students, working professionals, to learn these practical skills, thereby creating data pipelines. So the first thing will be talking about what is data engineering and few things on cloud basics. So what is data engineering? What is the role of a data engineer? What is the difference between OLTP versus OLAP? The different types of data warehousing concepts, and introduction to cloud computing. So first resource we'll be learning as a data engineer. So we will talk about with respect to Azure. Here we will be learning about data lake storage Gentoo. So as a data engineer, we will be getting data from various sources. Those data has to be uploaded to a cloud. So in Azure, we have something called as a data lake storage Gentoo. We create a storage account, we create container, and upload or download files into this container. Then second resource in Azure we'll be learning about is database. So now when you want to, as a data engineer, most of the data will be structured. It will be in the form of databases, tables. So you will be learning about how to create a database, how to create a table in cloud. We'll be talking about Microsoft SQL Server, and we'll be using few queries for analytical purpose. So we'll be talking about the primary key, foreign key, fact table, dimension table, and also few like select, update, insert, few commands, DDL, DML. Now the third important resource is Azure Data Factory. As a data engineer, we extract data from a source, we do transformation and load it to a destination. The transformation is done using Data Factory. So what are the transformation we can do? There are many activities available in Data Factory. The two important activities is copy activity. So you copy the data from one place to another place. That is can be done with copy activity. Then with the help of mapping data flow, we can do lot of transformation. Then Synapse Analytics. What is Synapse Analytics? It's nothing but a data warehouse. So for example, I have a data in database. When I want to do some analysis, I will not disturb the tables in my database. I'll take those tables, I'll take a copy of those tables, and from that table, whichever column is required for me to analyze, only those columns I'll be taking. That is called data warehouse. So we take only the required table, the select required columns, and we perform an analysis. So instead of syntax, there's concept of we know what is table. There is another thing called external table. We'll be learning about what is external table, how do you create an external table, then the different types of pools, a serverless SQL pool, dedicated SQL pool, Spark pool. Then how do you load data into dedicated SQL pool? Then we are using Spark pool we can process data in the notebook. Next thing is stream analytics, event tabs. What are they? Now the data is coming in large amounts and also it is coming at a tremendous speed. As the data comes in, you need to analyze and process it and send to the destination. So we have two types of processing, real-time processing and batch processing. So for to do this, we use event tabs and stream analytics. Then Databricks. What is Azure Databricks? So Databricks is a third-party company which specializes in AI, machine learning. All the cloud service providers have tied up with Databricks and integrate Databricks tools into Azure. For example, Databricks, Azure has integrated with the Databricks, thereby bringing the Databricks services into Azure. So once you have data, we'll also see how to create a report, how to do analysis. So we'll be creating how to connect to Microsoft Power BI. So my data is in the cloud. Taking the data from the cloud, how do you create a dashboard or how do you perform business metrics using Power BI from cloud? So when we talk about cloud, security is very paramount. So these are some of the how do you optimize the data? How do you optimize the cost? So cloud is cost cloud is very costly. So we need to optimize certain services when you no longer require, we can delete those resources. Some services, some resources we can pass so that the cost is same. These are part of cost optimization. Apart from that, data security. So IAM stands for Identity Access Management, role-based access control. So these are some of the things we'll be learning as part of security and governance. So these are the tools covered. So now let me go to the next presentation. Right. So let us learn a few things on basic fundamentals on data engineering, few terms. So what is data engineering? It is a discipline of designing, building, and maintaining systems so that it can be used for analytics, reporting, and for artificial intelligence. So when you do the data engineering, it ensures the right data reaches the right place in the right format at the right time. So data engineering turns raw data into reliable, usable data. What is a pipeline? As a data engineer, we create pipelines. A pipeline is nothing but automatic sequence of steps that moves and processes data from one stage to another. For example, here I have a sales database. This is my source. Using that, I clean the data, transform data, I load to a database warehouse. From there, I use the data into creating a dashboard. This is a typical pipeline. What is a data lake? A data lake is a place where we can store all types of data, structured, unstructured, semi-structured. Structured data is nothing but CSV file, Excel file, tables. Unstructured is nothing but videos, images, audio files. Semi-structured, JSON file. So why do you need to upload data into the data lake? Because for us to process and analyze it later. So it's like we're dumping our data in a place. Database. So most of the data will be structured in our real life in real life situations. So most of the data will be in structured. So it will be in the form of tables which will be stored in databases. So a database is nothing but a collection of data stored electronically. So we use SQL commands to access, manage, and update. So for example, the employee details, the bank transactions, All these things can be stored in a database. What is a data warehouse? A data warehouse is a centralized system where we store cleaned, structured historical data from multiple sources for reporting and analytics. So, as I told you, we don't disturb the database. We take the record tables from the database, a copy, and put it in a data warehouse. Where so before we put in the data warehouse, we do cleaning, all these things. So data can come from multiple places. It has to be cleaned, transformed, and organized so that it can be used for reports, dashboards, and decision making. So until few years, we did not have the data lakehouse. A data lakehouse is nothing but a combination of data lake and warehouse. You know what is data lake? What is data warehouse? So a data lakehouse is what we can perform both these operations. Data lake, it can be used as a data lake as well as data warehouse. ETL versus ELT. Extract, transform, load versus extract, load, transform. First thing is the pipeline, we extract data. The data is raw data, it is from a source. We do the transformation and load it to a destination. It can be a data warehouse, it can be any destination. So you can see the difference between ETL and ELT. So now I'll go into the third slide. Third slide. So here I'm using an analogy of comparing data engineering to that of a brain. So here if you can see, so main concept is data is the new infrastructure. So that infrastructure has to be stable, and so we can say no AI without data engineering. So currently we are getting many Gen AI, agentic AI, deep learning, machine learning models. So all these there are there. We cannot perform these things without data engineering. So data engineering is a essential part of AI. So when we say because of poor data, it means data is not cleaned properly, it is not transformed properly. It is because of these reasons the enterprises are fail because of not because of AI models, because garbage in, garbage out. The AI models require a clean data, accurate data. So for this, we have to use data engineering. So if I told you, we are comparing this with the human body. So if brain is the AI, then the nervous system is the data engineering. So you can understand how important this is to the AI, the data engineering. So here if you can see the AI models. So first is those I have a Internet of Things logs I get for data from various places. Then with the help of Azure, I create a pipeline. Then how that a pipeline is being created? And when I say pipeline, it means getting data from source, doing some transformation, loading into this, loading to the destination, and using that from the data from the destination, we can create AI models. So this is AI models creation is one of the things we can do with destination data in the destination. So you can see here, every AI system, predictive model, analytics dashboard depends entirely on the data pipelines feeding it. What is the anatomy of a modern data platform? First thing is data source. Then from the data source, we ingest the data. That's the first layer. So we can ingest data in two ways, either batches or streaming, real-time streaming. As the data comes in, you ingest immediately, or you can wait for every 1 hour or 2 hours, have the data, and ingest data at a regular interval. Then that ingested data has to be stored in a layer. then it has to be processed, then it has to be orchestrated, then the data which has been stored in the data warehouse can be used for AI analytics. So we can see there are few layers: ingestion layer, storage layer, processing layer, analytics layer. So these are the things involved in data engineering: data ingestion, data storage, data processing, pipeline orchestration, and the data, the clean transform data, the clean data can be used for AI and analytics. So next to that, we have the Azure resource which are used for that data engineering concept. For example, data ingestion, we can use Azure Data Factory. For data storage, we can use Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. So like this, data processing, Azure Databricks, Synapse Analytics, pipeline orchestration, Data Factory pipeline. So for analytics, we can use Azure Machine Learning and Power BI. So there are two ways of getting data: ingesting data and storing data. So either batch integration or streaming. Streaming means as the data comes in, yes, ingesting the data at a regular, not at a regular interval. As the data comes in, we are immediately processing the data. We can see the storage. So in storage, the data like storage M2, we can store all types of data: structured data, unstructured data, and semi-structured data. So using Synapse Analytics and Databricks, we can process the data. So when we say process, it means either are using ETL or EMT. So Databricks is a third-party company, or it is used for AI. So they can create machine learning models using Python, Spark, SQL, and R. So it's Databricks supports 4 languages. So here, if we can see the tools, so Data Factory, Data Lake, Synapse, Databricks. So data engineering, the key takeaway is reliable pipelines. So now we are not just moving data from one source to destination. We have to creating reliable pipelines. The pipeline can be automated. So we're creating reliable pipelines. So it should run without manual intervention. As I said, it is automated. So at every regular interval, the data will be coming in, it will be processed and sent to the destination. It runs without any manual intervention. So with the data available in the data warehouse or the clean data, we can create machine learning models. We can use those for creating dashboards and for decision making capability. Power BI. So sovereign. So sovereign is nothing but it's just stored. It's safe. So for example, data should be owned, governed, and trusted. So for example, healthcare, government, ICT enterprises, they build the self-sovereign data platforms to protect intellectual property while deploying world-class AI. So these are the real-world things where it is used: data engineering, healthcare, smart cities, enterprises, sovereign AI. Then these are the things we need to know as part of a data engineer. We need to know SQL, Python, and the cloud infrastructure. Since we are creating data engineering pipelines in the cloud, we need to know these resources that will be useful that are required for data engineering, creating data engineering pipeline. So AI data engineer, data platform engineer, these are the roles one can become. So it is one of the highest demand carriers globally. Yeah. So we compared data engineering as similar to the nervous system. The nervous system provides signals to the brain. So to create a dashboard, to create a model, you need to have a resilient platform. So for that is being done with the part data engineering. So now we saw few things on what is the syllabus. So what is the few important things we do in data engineering. So now we'll be logging into Azure portal to see how do you create a Azure resource. I'll just give you a demonstration. So now if you can see here, this is I have logged into Azure portal. So to become a data engineer, the cloud knowledge is very important. We can either use any of the cloud service providers and using Microsoft Azure, since most of the companies use Microsoft Azure, since because many companies buy products from Microsoft, like Power BI, MS Office. So using one of the same using cloud service from Azure will help us integrate with other Microsoft products. So as I told you, so just portal.azure.com with your credentials, you will be able to enter into this website. Then we can see we can create a resource. So in Azure, we create a resource. So what are the resources we require for data engineering? You need to learn about storage accounts. Storage accounts is one of the resources we need to learn. Then we need to learn what is a database. So if you're not able to see any of the resources, we can always type here. It will take us to the marketplace. So now if I type database, so it is showing me the databases that are available in Azure, Azure. So I can choose any of this. So now let me choose so Cosmos DB is the NoSQL database. So let me choose MS SQL. Let me check MS SQL. So you can see MySQL is available there. Then we have something called Azure database for MySQL. We also Postgres, all these things. Similarly, there is something called Synapse Analytics. Synapse is something like the data warehouse. So we saw what is a data lake, what is a database, what is a data warehouse. So here, let me create, let me open this in a new link. So this is a Synapse Analytics. We have to create this Synapse Analytics. Then I talked about storage account. I'll just navigate to the storage accounts, which have been created earlier. So now it's already there. If it's not there, you can always search in the, or you can create a resource. So how do you create a resource? I want to create a storage account. So here I'm going to give a demonstration. But that is a resource which is mostly used in data engineering. Not only in data engineering, whenever you use cloud, storage account is one of the resources we need to learn. So how do you create a resource? So either I can click create a resource. What is the resource I want? I want a storage account. I already saw that one, that icon was available. But like I'm showing you as a new user, how do you create a resource? So I click create a resource. It took me to this marketplace. Then I'm typing whatever resource I want. So it is I type storage account. Here if you can see, it is showing me the different types of storage accounts from different vendors. So I'm going to use the Microsoft. So Microsoft also, this is Azure Storage Mover, and this is from Microsoft. So I want to use storage account from Microsoft. So I can click create. So this is how you create a resource. If you know what resource you have to create, you can type in the create a resource. It will take you to the marketplace. Type the resource. It will show you the resources from different vendors. You can choose the appropriate resource from the appropriate vendor. So every cloud account will have a subscription. So I'm having a subscription. Then have something called as a resource group. A resource group is nothing but a logical representation of resources. So here storage account is a resource. So I can create multiple storage accounts and I can create storage accounts for different purposes. For example, I'm creating a storage account for finance department. I'm creating a storage account for HR. I'm creating a storage account for administration. Then what you can do, you can give it something, resource group is nothing but like a labeling, like a folder. You can get a resource group is a container that holds related resources. So storage account is a resource, Suppose I give a name for this storage account will be created in this resource group. For example, let me put finance. So I'm using, so many people will be using this Azure. The organization also, there will be many storage accounts for different departments, for different projects. We create different resources. But if you want to link them to a particular resource group, we can create a new resource group. If already a resource group has been created, we can use that resource group. So every resource that we create should have a subscription, should have a resource group. Then storage account name. This has to be unique. So I'll tell you why this has to be unique. For example, I am typing Madan, which is my name. So when I type Madan, if it's so for example, yeah, it is permitting me, which means that currently I do not see anybody has created a storage account with this name. Then in cloud, there is something called region. So in India, we have Central India, South India, North India. So the storage account will be deployed in a data center in the region you choose. So data center is nothing but it has stacks full of compute machines. So we can choose any region. I'm choosing East to West. Then I'm choosing preferred storage type. So now I want to use it for data lake storage M2. So when we create a storage account, we can store data in 4 different ways. One such way is data lake storage M2, blob, binary large object. So now, yeah, this is a thing. Yeah, so this is I'll just go through the various things. So now every Azure resource will have many tabs. Each tab will have some default information, some information we need to provide. So I'm choosing enable hierarchy namespace. Then, yeah, then next, I'm leaving as it is. Data production, I'm not explaining much about this. This is how we create a resource. Every Azure resource will have many tabs based on the Azure resource. Storage account, it has about 8 tabs. We can use the information available in the tabs as it is, or we can ignore, or we can fill in with new information. So this is what we do. So I'm creating this is a subscription. This is my resource group. I'm creating this resource in this location East US. My storage account name is Madan. So what are the things you can do? It is being created for data lake storage M2. Now I'm creating. So when I click the button create, it means that my resource, Azure resource, is going to it's being deployed in the data center in this East US. So every resource, it will take few minutes to few seconds. So this is a storage account. It may be deployed in few minutes. So as part of this data engineering, we'll be learning about creating Microsoft Azure data engineering resources. For example, I'm creating a storage account. Mother is a storage account. So you can see East US location, resource group. Let us not go into much into this. So I go to the container. So what do? You create a storage account. These are the 4 ways by which you can store data. I'm going to use I'm going to create a container. So I can upload data outside, or I can create a container. The container is nothing but it's like a folder where we can upload data. So I can put a demo class. So there should not be any space. So yeah, I'm creating this. So here I'm creating a container. So first thing is you have to create a storage account, then create a container, then you upload files into this container. So this is called data lake. So I can upload any type of file. I can upload a PNG file. I can upload a PDF file, audio file, CSV file. So that is why it's called data lake. Data lake is nothing but, so for example, I'm uploading my syllabus, data engineering syllabus. It's a PDF. So I'm uploading this. So you can see dot PDF. I'm able to, it has been uploaded. So what I can do, if you want to view this, you can go to edit. So it doesn't support PDF editing. So I'm not able to see. So this is how you create a storage graph. So what I done, I talked about syllabus, data engineering syllabus. Then we talked about data engineering fundamentals. Then we compared the analogy data engineering with that of a nervous system of the human body. Then we logged into the Azure portal. Then we saw how to create a storage account. So yeah. So thank you very much.